So sit comfortably. Let yourself rest in your chair, your feet on the floor. Your back straight, so you sit as not stiff, but upright. Your head balanced on your shoulders, so you tuck your chin in slightly. Feel the stretch across the back of your neck. Balanced your head on your shoulders. Your shoulders relax. You're not holding them up. Let them just hang like a shirt on a hanger at your side and your hands in your lap. And we'll take 3 deep breaths, one with each ring of the bell. So in and out, and in and out, and in and out. That sustained note of the bell as it fades. Take you into the next breath. Follow it as it leads you into this exercise. And go ahead and just continue to breathe normally. Breathing in as your belly rises. Breathing out as your belly falls. And turn your attention on that breath. Best place to focus is on your belly as you feel your belly rise as you breathe in and fall as you breathe out. There are many other subtle ways you know you're breathing in and breathing out. You can be aware of those if you'd like. Feel how the air seems cool as you breathe in through your nostrils. Your lungs fill. And when they've filled completely, they just relax and the breath comes out. And you can feel that breath warmed by having been in your body. Cool air in, warm air out. Breathing in as your belly rises. Breathing out as your belly falls. Feel how that breath fills you, as though it's going all the way down into your toes, exhaling from your toes. That's more than just a feeling, of course. As you breathe in, you're filling your heart and veins with oxygen. It reaches into the tips of your fingers and the tips of your toes, bringing that energy to your body. You expel the carbon dioxide, breathe out, in, breathing out. Let yourself continue to pay attention to your breath for the moment. If your attention is a light and you've turned it back around, shine on yourself and on your breath. Breathing in, breathing out. And you can use the breath as kind of something to ground you, to ground your attention. Be like a dog that's got a leash and a collar and is tied to a stake. The breath keeps you focused, but there's still plenty of things that dog sees around it. And there's still plenty of things going on. You can let your attention take all of those in. Your thoughts, physical sensations, whether it's the sensation of the weight of your body in the seat, the shoes on your feet, the clothes against your skin. You may hear sounds coming and going. Sense. We take that for granted so often, but sense reach a really kind of old place in our brains and our nervous system, which is why a smell of a cinnamon roll can take you back to being 4 years old when you first had one. At that age when you were very sensitive to smells. I remember noticing all of my friends, their houses had different smells to them. It was kind of a mystery how that could be. Cooked and ate, I suppose, or air fresheners they used back in those days. We don't always pay attention to our sense of smell, but go ahead and notice that in case there's any certain sense coming into your nose along with the in-breath. And of course, sounds as subtle as the ticking of the clock that we hear here. Or sometimes we get the jumbling chaos of sounds as the daycare in the basement of the church here walks past our door. We hear the joyful sounds of the children running by. You don't hear that. You're really listening without feeling a little joy yourself. Feeling a little bit like a child too. So you let all of those things come into your awareness. As I say, the breath is a beginning point. It's something we can always use. We may be in a room that's silent, or maybe in a place where there's no smells. But our breath is always right there at hand. Something to focus on, give our attention to. And it primes us to pay attention to those other things. The thoughts and feelings that go on that we engage in often without even realizing it. When we pause like this and slow down, we can be amazed at all the thoughts that arise. I think this practice is about stopping those thoughts, but they seem to keep coming up, often in regards to sensations. We think about that itch, we think about the smell, we think about the sound. There's a way with thoughts and emotions, you can just touch them, be aware of them, and let them go without kind of engaging, falling deeply into that hole of thought or feeling. We all know what that's like with strong emotions, especially like fear or shame, repetitive thoughts that just draw us in and we just keep thinking them harder and harder. You'd be surprised if you just are aware of them, just touch them and let them go. They're a little less troublesome. It's kind of like they don't hang around. They're waiting for us to give them attention, and if we don't, they just float. And the next one begins at the next stimulus. As I said, in the room while we practice this here, the children walk by and bring us a little bit of joy and playfulness. And somehow we ended up on the subject of play today, playing music, trampolines, playing with kids. I was thinking of how important play is, even for us as adults. We can come to something like this, something that's to open ourselves up, to take care of ourselves and make that a job, to make it serious work. So many things that we do for self-care or for ourselves are like that. We become so deadly serious about taking a walk or relaxing. It's good if we can maintain that spirit of play. Thinking of for children, play is a way to learn. Who of us didn't play house? We're kind of preparing ourselves for adulthood, what it would be like to have a house, to have to cook for yourself, maybe have children. It's how we learn those things and practice those things. Once I was lucky enough to see 4 young fox playing on the bluff behind us here. I had a friend who he'd always argue that animals don't have emotion, that animals don't play. Anyone who's ever seen a couple of puppies play, or if you'd seen these fox, you'd know they were playing. And that playing has a purpose. Often for them, it's to learn how to hunt, learn how to use their bodies. So it's a funny thing. But I can say to not be so serious about these things. And we should be light and feel the freedom when we play. Play is a very serious thing to include in our lives. Sometimes it's a good excuse just to get dirty. If you used to like making mud pies when you were a kid, try gardening or pottery. 2 good excuses to say you're doing something grown up and serious, but you're letting yourself just get dirty. And bring that spirit of curiosity to this when you sit and watch yourself, watch your breath and your thoughts, watch what's coming in from the world. It's a way to see how you play with it, play with your breath, play with your thoughts. Try not engaging with them and see what happens. And then watch yourself engage with them and see what that's like. Or see how your mind and senses dance with sounds, with smells. And that's something we take for granted. And especially we think we're grown-ups now. We don't need to pay attention to that. But you'll keep some of that joy and youthfulness if you don't let go of that curiosity. Keep it till the day you die. Never too late to learn a new skill or to try a new game. But to play lightheartedly with something like this as we breathe. We'll sit here together sharing this space. If you saw the smiles on people's faces when we open our eyes at the end and the way we feel connected, you'd see that this is a kind of play too. So don't forget the importance of that. The importance of not doing something important. And with things like self-care, you can make them such a chore that there's no fun or joy in them anymore. Just play at them. You might be surprised at what you can do when you do it that way. I always think back to when I was a runner. I was so serious about it. I'd keep wanting to increase my distance, shorten my time. Finally, I burned out pretty quickly on doing that. And then I remembered after a year or so what it was like as a kid to just run across a grassy field, to fall down and roll down the hill, and get up and run some more. I decided I'd try having that playfulness and that energy and start running again. Have no ideas or no plan that I had to go so many miles. That I would just have the goal of feeling like I did when I was 7 and ran across someone's lawn. It was actually easy to not get into burdening myself with goals and plans. And the surprising thing was I was able to run with less stress, less pain, actually run farther than I ever did when I had some kind of a strict regimen. That can be done too. You can think of this as what it just felt like as a child to be still sometimes. Realize you had thoughts, like running in the grass, just to lie in the grass, watch the clouds blow past, smell the scents of the summer flowers, feel the breeze on your skin. Doing much the same way. May not be the breeze, but we're feeling our clothes, smelling what comes up. It may just be the smell of the earth. It tells you what season it is. And those thoughts, well, those can be like clouds flowing through that blue sky. It's just your vast awareness. And there are things that just enter your vision. They don't have a strong form and they just blow past even those difficult ones, just like storms going by. Sit and watch it all for a few moments. So try to bring that sense, your breathing, till your stillness. See if it doesn't make it a little easier to get yourself to do this. I'll ring the bell to signal the end then. And take 3 deep breaths at that sound. And when you're ready, open your eyes.